cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. What's up, fellas? Welcome to another True Tuesday episode. Man, I know you guys seen over the news as well as in social media over the last couple of weeks, 10 men broke out of a New Orleans jail in an audacious overnight escape by fleeing through a hole behind a toilet and scaling the wall while the lone guard assigned to the cell pod was away getting food. Now, this was on all news medias. They were showing, the video, the surveillance footage, where you could see the guy, the escapees, sprinting out of the facility. Some of them was wearing the orange jumpsuits and some of them had on white.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they scaled the fence using blankets to avoid being cut by the barbed wire. And then some could even be seen sprinting across the nearby interstate into a neighborhood. Now, my question is, do these fellas actually feel and think that escaping is gonna get them the freedom that they lost by being convicted for whatever crime that they were convicted of?
I hope they don't think.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, allegedly one of these escapees only had 2 months left or something like that. He had a really low. He had a few months left.
Now, if that's a true statement, then he's really done.
Yeah.
Because they all, once they get caught,
you're going back.
Yeah, and plus you're getting some more charges added
and
to
you're
you.
getting some more time.
Yeah.
Now, the absence of the 10 men wasn't really noticed. They were gone for approximately, let me see. The absence of the 10 men wasn't noticed until 7 hours later. So they had a 7-hour head start.
They had a nice head start.
Yeah, so I feel like, if they really wanted to get away and be gone permanently, I would have gotten completely out of Louisiana.
Right.
And I know that's easier said than done. I don't think any planning was done. I think this was like a spur of the moment type of deal. But I do feel like some of them kind of got on the bandwagon once they realized, hey, we're about to do this, make this move. Y'all in, and that's how I think. That's just my opinion in regards to the number and the way it occurred. I just don't think it was calculated, planned out thoroughly.
Right.
Some of them were seen, walking on camera in the French Quarters. Now, this is one of the busiest places in New Orleans. Why would you be?
Why?
Especially if you got on the orange jumpsuits.
Well, at that time, they actually had on civilian clothes. Yeah, they had on some other clothing they had changed.
Right.
But I just don't understand. Like I said, I just don't feel that these guys really thought it out and just something to be doing. That temporary freedom that I think they felt that it wasn't gonna last long because they were captured. Well, let me back up. 2 weeks since and it's been nearly 2 weeks since this occurred. 8 of the inmates have already been captured.
Okay,
so that lets you know right there that, like I said, they didn't think this out thoroughly or plan it thoroughly, in my opinion. 8 of them to have already been caught. Now the 2 inmates that are still at large, Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves.
Yeah.
These 2 are the only 2 that are, to my knowledge, that are still out and are, enjoying their temporary freedom, as I'm calling it. Now, I do know, I mentioned earlier how a couple of the men were caught in the French Quarter. There was footage also of 2 men, I think it was 2 men, that were also caught in Huntsville, which is here in Texas.
Yeah, right. They trying to get down here.
Yeah, they had footage of these guys being captured in Texas. So they were trying to make some distance, but I still feel, in 7 hours, they should have been a lot further.
Right.
I don't know. They had allegedly some assistance from two ladies
Well-
and then a janitor that cut the water off for them to.
Also, a former jail employee was accused of driving one of the escapees to a relative's home and helping him FaceTime the family the day of the escape.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
don't
get
know
on that.
It might have been planned. Like,
There's actually been 7 people that's been arrested for allegedly helping these inmates. There's Casey Smith, the 30-year-old, and Courtney Harris, and these were the 2 that had been booked. They were allegedly assisting 2 of the 10 inmates who escaped by transporting them. There was another one, Connie Wheaton. She's 59, who was booked on Thursday, and she faces felony charges for allegedly assisting Jermaine Donald, one of the escapees. And she actually, I think this is the one that did the phone call that you were speaking of, Slash. And then the janitor that we were speaking on. Now, the janitor, if I'm not mistaken, he was actually threatened, which is what caused him to do the things that he did
to shake him, right?
Well, I think harm him as well as his family.
Yeah, they did.
And that was Sterling Williams. He was a 33-year-old maintenance worker.
Yeah, that was the one that did turn the water off.
Can you guys put yourselves in Sterling's shoes? Now, what if that was you? You know, how would you have reacted?
I'm not
honestly.
Because of the simple fact, this ain't my jail. You ain't my inmate, bro. I'm not finna stand here and let you kill me because you want to get out of here. If I can help you get out, hold on, man. Let me figure something out.
So you wouldn't turn them in?
I mean, turn who? If the man say he gonna kill me?
They already locked up, but yeah, they threatening you, saying that they go kill you or harm your family
while you in there, and they still gonna be in there.
Yeah, you working. That's your job.
They gonna kill you if you tell on them people. Period. He already threatened to kill you. If you go and tell, and them people come at him and say, "Hey, man, you threatened to kill this man,"
so his hands was kind of tied behind his back.
Either way it goes, get him.
Yeah.
Or somebody gonna send something to him. So man, let me help you get out of here. I'm not finna lose my life behind this foolishness.
Okay, so with you saying that and hearing now this man is facing some jail time because of him helping, do you think they'll be lenient?
Yeah.
I
don't think I think right now, because it's a hot new situation and they haven't caught all of the people, they trying to charge anybody they can. But once they catch them other 2 people, they gonna look at that man and say, "Hey, man," because look, guess what, man? I'm coming to work. Safety first. Is that the policy?
You know what they need to start doing, like they do the cops? They need to wire the body mics.
They ain't gonna do all that.
They gonna have to, because
so check this out. Let's say the janitor was actually in cahoots, and the only reason he lied was because he got caught. Now they got to prove, because if they catch her, they got to prove that these inmates actually threatened this janitor.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Let's say the inmates did truly threaten the janitor. Man, the janitor move was, first of all, I got to have a job to pay my bills. So let me go to these folks and tell these folks, look, they want me to do this, and I'm scared because they said they're going to kill my family or whatever and do something to me or whatever, but I'm caught in a rock and hard place. Now, I'm going to tell you, man, these folks are so sharp and smart to where they'll let it go down. Hey, go ahead and turn the water off to save your life. But we'll have people in place or whatever the hell. And then they just didn't get that far.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if he's trying to protect himself to save himself or whatever the case may be, his move was probably, let me go tell somebody.
Yeah.
So now the upper people know. Now they can put people in place.
Right.
You know, and so the upper people be like, okay, to save your life, go ahead and turn the water off, like they told you to. We'll go ahead and turn the water off, and then we'll put a sting together
and see who
gonna bite, how they gonna get out, and all that stuff. So we'll let it go down, but we'll be on the other side waiting.
Now, if they turn some water off, that's big there. For them to, did they escape through like water pipes or something?
No, they escaped through the wall. See,
it was a
sink, the sink, and the toilet connected to the outside wall.
Okay,
So in order for you to pull that out, the sink in the toilet out.
The pipes
You
have
gotta
to be
turn that pipe
Wow.
off. Now,
So,
now
yeah.
it ain't the water cutting off the water to the whole facility.
Just that area.
It may be for that shit, just that pipe in that area.
Right. Or that floor, or just that cell.
Yeah, that's a crime.
No, don't ask me how I know this, but they probably got like 2 or 3 cells connected on the water
With
stuff.
the same water line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a crime. To
I
cut
heard that from a
water.
little birdie.
There's now a $50,000 reward for each inmate. It started off, I think it was $10,000 per inmate, but now it's been raised. I guess since the other 8 have been caught, it's now $50,000.
7 or 8 been caught.
8 have been caught.
Okay.
So, what did any of them? All of them were caught. Did any of them turn themselves in?
No.
None of them.
I think all 8 have been caught.
And also too, when they were in the French Quarter, in places like the French Quarter and other places in the U.S. too,
Yeah,
these cameras have face recognition.
Yes, sir.
of course.
And so when they go out, anybody that's pinging like, okay, this face structure recognition
They
or
gonna know
whatever,
exactly who it
they'll
is.
know where to go and how to find.
yeah.
So you ain't necessarily nobody don't necessarily have to tell on you. You can just be in an area
Where
where
a
a
camera
camera catches your face, and if you're blasted in the system,
Yeah.
facial recognition
They got
here,
you.
Technology.
they'll go there and,
They
and
got
find
you.
you.
Yeah.
And also, man, look at it like this here. Let's say your son was incarcerated and he escaped from prison, and you don't know he escaped though, and he come to you, Dad, I escaped. I need some help. Can you give me a few dollars? There's a good chance that now you probably like, man, get your ass away from you.
But you gonna
give him some. You gonna give him a couple
you know
dollars.
he gonna need it.
Yeah,
Because you know you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Man, look, here. But you need to get your ass away from
Yeah,
here.
you're gonna know because if you don't leave here, I'm sure the people coming, and if I don't say you here, they gonna be on my ass.
So if and I'm putting you fellas on the spot, Freddie G, I start with you since you brought this up. So if let's say your child, one of these 10 was one of your children, and they reached out to you, you would assist?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, what
I
about
would.
you, Slash?
My child broke out of prison on the run, and they come home. The first thing, you can't stay here.
Yeah, no, you
right.
can't stay there.
You can't stay there.
I don't know why you broke out. Do you understand what you up against now?
Yeah.
Because when them people catch you, you're going to be gone for a long time.
Exactly.
But you might need this $20, $30. You know, you
And the
got to
pro-
get you something to eat. You need
Yeah.
to change clothes. Get out that shit you got on.
By doing that now, by
Yeah.
doing that,
You harboring.
you're
Yeah.
already an
Yeah.
accomplice.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I would.
But it's your child.
It's your
How do you
child.
not?
What about you, Comedian 96?
I would. I give them money, but they can't like Slash.
Yeah, you
say,
can't
they
stay.
here.
You're going to have
Yeah.
to move
You
because
can't
they
stay.
coming here.
They come. Yeah, they gonna come.
Yeah,
This is the first.
you
Gonna be
have
one of
to
the first
know.
place
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, you have to know the
Here
parents'
go
house will
a
be the
true
first.
story.
Go ahead.
Here go a true story. I know a lady who had a son that was on the run from the U.S. Marshals and the FBI. Now, this guy was on the run for like 2 weeks. And the U.S. Marshals and the FBI came to this guy's mom's house. Now,
they
mom knew where he was.
Yeah.
And they asked mom, have you seen him and do you know where he at?
Nope.
Mom said no.
That's
Now
what
check
parents
this out.
gonna do.
Check this out. Then one of the people asked mom, if you knew where he was, would you tell us? And what I heard was mom said, hell no, get the fuck up out of my house.
That's right.
That's a mom right there.
Yeah, that's a mom right
But
there.
that's what a parent does, protects their child, even when they doing wrong. That's what a
Yeah.
parent's supposed to do,
Yeah.
period. Even when you know they doing wrong, you protect them from whatever it is.
Freddie G, I don't know who it was that you knew, man, but they should have did a YouTube video for Escaping for Dummies, because these cats here,
Yeah.
So I heard that one of the guys that still haven't been caught, that's still out, had broken out of another prison before. So they knew that this guy was one to break out, and he should have been under maximum security. I think it's the Massey guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, Massey, and he's still one of the ones.
Yeah, he's still one of the ones that now he broken out of a prison before, and again, if you know that that's in his background, then you should have him where he can't.
On the next round,
like
them jokers gonna be on Supermax.
Yeah.
He's
them
definitely
jokers gonna be
They
on.
done fucked it up.
They're gonna be on Super 23-1. You ain't never coming in there.
That's crazy.
What I don't understand is, unless you already have some money, a boatload of money already when you get out, or two,
You got somewhere to go.
You leaving the country.
Yeah,
I got
that's what I'm
somewhere to
saying.
go.
I would have to have a plan if I'm gonna make a move like this.
Because you go ahead.
I would have to have a surefire. I ain't gonna say surefire, but a plan that I felt good about, to where I know my possibilities on being successful was at least more than 50%.
Man, you want to go to another country where you
Yes.
can hang out and
but check it
enjoy
out.
yourself.
That's us sitting here saying that. But
True.
check this out. K Money, you said you want to have a plan that's you feel good 50% that you'll be able to get away, right?
Right.
Well,
With a 7-hour.
with a 7-hour head start. Well, your plan is only limited to your financial resources and who you got on the outside that's
Right.
helping you. So it could very well be that they had a plan in their mind based upon their financial resources and the people that's helping them that they can get away. Now we look at a 7-hour head start, right?
Yeah.
As a big head start. But a lot of that is on foot.
Yeah.
But
to me, it looked like 8 of them didn't have a plan because 2 of them is still out
Two
there.
of them still.
so the thing I'm saying is,
it wasn't those 8 people playing to
check-
break out.
check it
They
out.
just went with them.
Check it out. If you have, I see where you're coming from, K Money, but sometimes you can have a plan, but some people could be better hiders.
Yeah, that's true.
You can have a hell of a plan, but some people are just better hiders.
Well, 8 of the people obviously didn't have a plan because they not the ones who was changed clothes. They probably caught them in those suits. Where are you going? You on side the road in the orange or whatever color they wear. Of course you going back to jail. That wasn't you. Just was to help these 2 get away because they had the plan. They'd have changed clothes and all of this. Now they in another country. Another city. So these 8 never had a plan. They was just to make the great escape to get caught for the other 2 to get away.
yeah, I'm thinking long term, like the other 2, they're still out. Now, if they got money, they out of the country, they're good. But financially, if you're out, the longer you're out, you're hurting somebody in your family or your friend or wherever you at financially, because you got to eat.
You got to eat. Yeah.
You got you.
Well, that's if they're
lights.
supporting them. You're
Nah.
hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Nah.
a choice.
Man, it's proven that people who escape, they commit more crimes while they out to survive.
To
Right.
survive.
And people who escape, they're smart enough to know, believe it or not, they're smart enough to know that they're going to go looking at their immediate families to stay away from
First.
their immediate family.
That's where they going first.
Yeah, well, actually, some of them will stay away from the immediate family, knowing that the authorities are going
Going
to
there
check.
first.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The authorities going to your families first.
So what they'll do is they'll go out and commit more crime while they're out to survive. Now, just because you get caught first doesn't mean you have a plan. You didn't have a plan. You just got caught first. Like for instance,
One guy caught at the bus stop.
what
You saw that?
his plan
didn't
was
have-
to leave.
But not on no bus.
Not on
you
no
can't
bus.
think you're going
What
to get
you
away at
thinking
the bus
about?
stop.
Again,
That was dumb.
well, here's the thing.
Slash.
Like I said to K Money, if you don't have enough of resources and you don't have much,
Don't do it.
how in the hell you gonna be able to get away?
Don't
Right.
do it.
You gotta
Don't
if
do
you only got $100 in your pocket,
You're not
and
gonna
you
go
know
for
you
it.
just escaped. Well, first of all, they escaped. All of them ain't got no currency on them because you coming out of jail.
Right.
Right.
So you escape.
You got to rob
Now,
somebody.
if you go get $500 from wherever you get it from, if somebody gave it to you or you took it or whatever, but you got $500. Now you got to look at that $500 and you got to try to get to another state or another city or
With that
whatever
$500.
with that $500. Now you got to think of where am I going
How am I
and
gonna
how
get
I'm going to get there with $500.
bus ain't going to do it.
So
See, that plan should have already been in your head before you made that move, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, I hear what you're saying, and I do watch a lot of TV, you know, and this seemed like some shit that you would see on TV, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned being smart, Fred. Now, May must have been the month for people to be escaping because you guys heard of Grant Hardin.
That's the guy from Baton Rouge.
No, this was the
senators, the state senators.
He was a police chief in a small town.
police chief.
Yeah.
That's
Alabama or something.
Yeah, he also
Walked right
Arkansas.
out of prison.
Yeah, he
Walked right out of prison.
He was he also escaped.
Yeah, he made a police uniform.
Right.
He
Oh,
made
wow.
him a uniform
and walked right up
and walked out of
man.
prison.
Now this guy has been convicted of rape and murder.
Wow.
Now he was a police chief. Come on, man.
What was he in for?
He was being
Yeah, rape and murder.
He was convicted of rape and murder.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't accused of the R word. He was accused of forcefully intercourse with somebody.
Yeah.
Not the R word.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing.
Correct.
The forcefully,
That's
forceful intercourse.
Yeah.
Now he
Yeah, he just unwanted forced intercourse.
Crazy.
now with this guy being an ex law enforcement officer, do you think he has an advantage on his escape?
Nope.
As far as
I don't think so.
evading police. Because
Well, evading police. I mean,
don't
he
think
knows their
so.
tactics. If he's
Yeah,
a
he's
policeman, he knows their
Let-
tactics.
Let
though.
me check you out.
Yeah,
Criminals, no police tactics.
true. But
Criminals, no police tactics.
okay,
You know that, okay, if I go rob a store, I need to have this. And I need not to do this. Because this'll make my chance more greater to get caught if I do this, and this. Same thing as ex-police officer.
Right.
They be knowing. We just get caught.
but see, criminals and the police been in the trainings that they do. That's why I say he has a
Man.
little better of an edge.
I
than,
think he
Man,
has a little edge as well. But
I know some criminals personally that's been doing crime for years and they ain't never got caught. And they not police officers.
got a point.
And I know them because of my neighborhood, my old neighborhood. And they ain't never got caught.
Well, fellas, you guys want to place a little friendly wager on whether or not these two go get caught in the next 2 weeks, or would Harden be caught before these two? Just
think-
a little friendly.
I think
Mind them in.
one will be left all the way to the end of the summer. That's a wager. Just
One of the New Orleans.
Yeah, one of them probably get the last one will get caught by the end of the summer because they ain't caught him now. You ain't gonna catch him.
I think that the police officer, the former police officer, would last longer than those two because of his skin, and because he's less threatening looking. He doesn't look like a threat. Like if that guy walked to me today, and I've saw the news or whatever, and I've seen his picture, but if he walked past me, I wouldn't be more apt to look at him if he's just dressed a certain way or whatever, just walk past me.
Right.
I wouldn't even double take. Now, if them two dudes
You gonna look
walk
and be
past
like,
me and
whoa.
I see all them tattoos
I know.
on your face and all that, I'm going to be looking at it like,
Well-
what this dude look like he up to something.
Yeah.
Depending on the environment that they're in,
Here's-
I'm assuming, right?
Man, we could be in River Oak somewhere walking on the strip mall. If I see you with a bunch of tattoos on your face, I'm going to look at you like, what the hell?
Well, here's the thing about those two. Why? And on as far as the wager, I'm gonna say that those two are gonna go to jail before the police officer. Reason why I say that is because those two, especially that one Massey guy, they not gonna go down easy. You know what I mean? So when the police officers do catch up with them, they
put
may
up a
not
fight.
make it back to jail.
Right, I got what you're saying.
You feel what I'm saying? Because them laws gonna be quick to shoot them.
Well, Harden, he's facing life, so he may not want to go back either.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
ain't-
sure what type of treatment he's received while he's been locked up.
He going to hold court in the streets.
But I think he's going to last longer than the two guys that's left from New Orleans.
Harden gonna die for his.
All three of them may be.
All
That
three
may be
of
the
them
way
may
that
be-
they go out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that because
Yeah,
and then the white man's kind of elderly.
he gonna die for his, man. He ain't got nothing to lose.
Nothing at all. Well, I think the other Massey and Groves. I think one of them, if I'm not mistaken, has been charged with murder. So they may not
Nothing
have
to lose.
anything
Nothing
to lose either.
either.
Yeah.
But man, I don't think it's ever worth, breaking out of prison or jail, man, just to add more problems to what you already have and what you already face. And just like the title, man, it's just being desperate for temporary freedom, because that's all it is. And, if you don't break the law in the first place, then you won't ever lose your freedom, is how I look at it. So let's just do the right thing and not break the law. Appreciate y'all joining us, man. Come back next week. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Scott faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.